the Yascast with me, your host, Yaseen. At this point, you should not be surprised that I'm hosting this, unless I've been replaced by someone who is very similar to me, but is slightly different enough that you could tell by the end of this episode. But I assure you, I have not been replaced, and I can prove it by saying that I love women, because only the real Yaseen would say that, and not not a fake one. This is the fifth episode of season 2, and this episode is RISC-V. RISC stands for really integrated something circuits. Am I right? Am I right, Livy?
Not quite.
Not quite? Damn. Were any of the letters right?
I already
I know
forgot what
5
you
means
said.
5.
Yeah. What did you say again?
I said really interesting something circuits. Well, anyway, today's guest is none other than Liv, who is at living cookie at void.lgbt, who I, of course, called Livy.
Yes.
It's a nickname, which is longer than the actual name, which I think is classic me. Hi, Livy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, despite some technical issues.
Yeah, the Yascast and technical issues. Can you name a more iconic combo? I think there's only been like 2 episodes over the 2 seasons that have not had any kind of fuck up. But to be honest, I think as far as the fuck ups go, this has been pretty minor.
All right, that's good to know.
So really don't worry about it. As with every episode, I'm hosting this one on Google Meet because I have an unlimited Google Meet plan, so I might as well make the most of it. I'm pretty sure this was meant for people who have like hundreds of meetings to attend every day or whatever. But no, I just use it to host podcasts. So there we go. I only have it because I have a Fitbit. And Fitbit Premium in the UK is like $79.99 a year. Whereas Google One with unlimited Meet and Fitbit Premium is also $79.99. So it just makes more sense. And I have an Android phone, so all that extra storage is useful, I guess, for
Yeah.
all my photos, which is annoying, which is good, but also kind of annoying because Google changed it I think a couple of years back, where photos would count towards your storage allowance. So before, you could have unlimited photo storage if they were, but Google would compress them. So I think they had to be it's like all videos would be compressed to 1080p, and all photos would be compressed to I don't know, 6 megapixels or something like that. But that's totally fine for most photos. And then
Yeah.
a few years ago, they changed it so that all photos now count towards your storage cap, which is kind of crazy because I've had an Android phone for over almost a decade now. So when they included photos in the cap, I suddenly had like half a gig left of the 15 gigs that Google lets you gives you for free.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the storage is one reason I don't sync my photos.
Yeah, because photos are quite big,
Yeah.
and especially the high res ones that the Pixel takes. Because you have a Pixel as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have a Pixel 6.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Everyone on Fedi has a Pixel or an iPhone.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really surprising because, nerds generally like the Pixel series, and there are a lot of nerds on Fetty.
Exactly. What is it with the Pixel series in particular that makes it so Because I would feel like the Pixel phone, as a consumer product, the Pixel phone is not something I would necessarily associate with nerds. But is there a particular reason why the Pixel is so popular?
Well, one thing that nerds tend to like is stock Android, and Google
That's true.
uses close to that. So, yeah, I guess that's one thing. I don't really know why else, actually.
Yeah, I guess the stock experience is nice though, because
Well, it's not
I mean,
even really
like,
stuck anymore.
yeah, it's like because it's like it's not a Nexus, right? The Nexus phones were like stock Android, like as close as possible, with like some frilly bits on top. But
Yeah.
then the Pixels like became just like a Google flavored version of Android rather than like stock, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I've tried like loads of Android phones over my life. The only ones that I would feel came close to like being useful to me were the LG skin. I don't know what that was called, and the HTC stuff. Those are pretty good. I think
So,
they added like real features.
yeah, so two that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Which is annoying. Which is so sad because like for example, like the LG skin. So I had I when so my first ever Android phone actually was an LG G4, and one of the really cool things about it was that it was shaped very slightly curved. So you could sit on it and it would like flex a little and it wouldn't break. So it basically made it like really, really hardy and really tough. And it also had a removable battery, by the way. This was back in the day when every phone had a removable battery, apart from like the Pixels and the iPhones. I mean, the Nexus and iPhones. And I really liked that skin. And then I had a HTC 10, and that had a really good camera. I think like the Pixel camera is really, really good, but most of it comes from the software rather than
Yeah.
like the actual.
Yeah,
Like the cameras themselves are quite good, but the real magic is in the software. Whereas I think
definitely.
with LG and HTC, like they did have some of that software processing in them, but the cameras themselves, like the way that they had the whole thing together was really really good. One thing the HTC 10 had that no other phone I know has had still was that the front facing camera was optically stabilized.
Oh, I haven't even heard about a phone that did that.
Yeah, it was, and it honestly, like I had that phone when I was in, so I was for like my first couple of years of university, and when you are in the club and the lighting sucks and everyone wants to take a group photo, we all used my phone because mine was the only one because of that optical stabilization. Like it was the only one that could actually like work in the horrendous lightings in bars and clubs and pubs. And I'm honestly surprised that like no one has tried to do it before. Don't like try to do it again. I guess like with the pixels, like they do pretty well in low light with the front camera, but it's not quite the same. Like the Pixel compensates through its software, and that's fine. But it makes it for a like rather like unnatural, artificial
Yeah.
photo in the end. Whereas with the HTC 10, the photos from the front camera look much more natural
Yeah, and
than anything the
also
Pixel could produce.
for video, you can't do the same kind of processing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that made all my Snapchat stories absolutely primo. Because
Yeah. But I guess one of the reasons they don't really do it is because it takes a lot of space.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they try to minimize the size of the camera circle.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Because I guess it would make sense to have that when every phone had like bezels that were like this big.
Yeah.
But now everyone wants that pristine all screen, corner to corner, 99% screen ratio. I guess an optically stabilized front facing camera is not good. And I guess for most people, like the software processing that modern smartphones have is like more than enough, to be honest.
Yeah. I think most people are fine with it.
Yeah, like I think we've come to a point where smartphone cameras, like on most phones, besides like the ones that are like 50 quid or something, like their cameras will be fine. Like
Yeah.
they will take photos in pretty much most lighting conditions.
Yeah. Really also like when you look at camera comparisons of like the most expensive ones, it's like you have to look for the differences. You wouldn't think about it unless you put them side to side.
I, I,
Yes,
I
you're
tried to.
dying.
I'm dying. Yeah, I agree. Like when you look at like these head to heads, I think for like the past like I would say for like the past like 6 years, I would say since like the iPhone, what one iPhone 16 now? Yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. I think since like the iPhone, like I would say like iPhone since like the iPhone 12, I would say like the difference between the Pixel, the high end Pixel, and the high end Samsung, and the top iPhones in terms of camera quality, it really just comes down to like your aesthetic choice, I suppose. Like there's a specific look that each camera has, but
Yeah.
like unless you're someone who like really cares about taking photographs, they're all practically identical for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. I also remember a thing with Huawei phones that was like kind of special to them was how they represented colors in pictures. Because like I feel like Huawei's pictures look a bit different than the others, but that's just because the colors look different. Like I used to have a Huawei P30 Lite. Well, I still have it, but I don't use it anymore. And like I felt like when I took pictures, especially like of plants, they just didn't look the same because the green color would change so much. And like you might like that and think the picture is better, but like my point is more that it's different from the other phones.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the question here is like, what do you want from a camera? Do you
Yeah,
want something that accurately represents reality, or do you want a something that's kind of like stylistic in a sense? And I think that's
yeah,
what the like that's the difference between each of the like the main smartphone manufacturers in the way they do their cameras is that they know that their customers want a they want every shot to look good
yeah,
without really thinking about it. So in the pixels, for example, this comes up as so for example, if you take a photograph, if you take like a photo of your of someone and the sun is behind them, the pixel will automatically try to balance the shadows of their face with the brightness of the sun behind them.
yeah,
And that's because Google knows that people want to have faces in good coloring and good lighting, no matter what the situation is about. Right.
yeah,
And that makes for a kind of a natural look because in reality, your face the whatever's in the foreground is not illuminated. So you would not actually see a much darker looking face than you would in reality. But it doesn't matter. People want or Google believes, and obviously that means that people believe that they want
yeah,
a consistently good photograph of people in the foreground, whatever. And like the iPhone does the same, and so does Samsung. I mean, everyone knows Samsung is known for like a little bit of oversaturation in their colors because that's
yes,
what people like in photos. They like their photos to look saturated because it makes them look better. Like
yeah,
when I take film photographs and I edit them, I sometimes I do push the saturation up just a little bit because that makes them just look that little bit more pleasing. And then it comes to the fact that, well, the choice to take a photograph is already in itself an artistic decision. Like you choose what's in the photograph, you choose the camera, you choose the lighting,
yeah.
even if you just
Photography is
take
art.
it.
Yeah,
If photography is art in the same way
yeah,
that like anything else is art, and and I think like when people say that editing a photograph is wrong, I think that's also kind of like a wrong opinion to have because we if photography is art, then editing it is also part of that artistic choice as well.
yeah. Like I feel like it really depends on what you're going for. Like, are you trying to take a pretty picture, or are you trying to take one that's accurate to reality?
Yeah,
And like
yeah,
nowadays, at least, or maybe it has probably always been like that, people don't really want to take a picture that's like that represents reality perfectly. It's more about taking one that's pretty. And
yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
that like we also see that with what you said of Samsung's processing that saturates pictures, and it's like, yeah, the picture didn't look like that, or the scene didn't look like that, but that's how people want the picture to look.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like when
Oh
you
no.
think about editing, you want the picture to look like how you envision the scene in your mind.
Yeah.
And like editing photographs goes like as probably as far back as photography itself. I mean, you can if you look at old photographs, you can see that there's some where like they've clearly edited like olden day Photoshop basically, where people have like spliced images together or moved certain elements here and there. Like even older photographs, you cannot be too sure of their like accuracy just because they're old. Like for
Yeah.
example, one of the most famous portraits of Abraham Lincoln is not actually of Abraham Lincoln. It is some other guy who was in the scene, but Abraham Lincoln's face was carefully pasted on top to make for a much better looking like portrait of Abraham Lincoln in this scene. And this was like the very I think that wasn't even a photograph. I think that was like a painting or something. But like even before photography, this idea of creating the scene that you imagine through splicing and editing is a history in of itself. And like when I so I've been getting into phone photography pretty recently. Well, not recently, but I've been posting them pretty recently on Fetty and stuff. And so my uncle gave me an old point and shoot camera from the 1990s. It actually is older than me. I think it's from like 1993 or something. And he has kept it pristine in his attic. So he gave it to me about a few years ago, and I've been using it pretty much ever since. That camera is worth 300 quid on the open market if you wanted to buy it from like eBay or something. And to me, that's crazy because he bought the camera for like £80 in like the 90s.
Oh wow.
Like the whole point of this camera was that it was a step up from like one of those disposable ones that you get from like the pharmacy. Like if this broke, it wouldn't be a big deal kind of thing. But if I break this, it is a big deal because it like and thankfully, touch wood, thank God, like all the elements of this camera work fine. The flash is fine, the lens is fine, the zoom is fine. The only thing that's wrong with it is that the shutter won't trigger if I angle the camera too low. So if I try to take, yeah. So I got it. So every photo needs to be taken from an angle of like greater than, I would say. So if zero is pointing face down, then I would say anywhere between 0 and about 50 degrees is no bueno. It just won't actuate. So so I have to make sure I'm kind of facing towards the towards what I take a photo of. And yeah, so every photo I've managed to get digitally scanned, I have edited ever so slightly. So like cropping, zooming, and adjusting the color balance and white balance and things like that. And it's because one, film cameras are kind of you film cameras, unlike unlike digital cameras, don't have the ability to change the like focus and exposure and whatever before you shoot. So I'm kind of stuck with what I get after it gets developed. So that's one thing. And two, I have I took each because each roll because each shot costs me like 50p. So I have to be really careful about what I take a photo of. So each photo I take with this camera has a specific kind of like definitive like purpose, even if it's just as simple as like, oh, this looks nice. So when I edit it, I want to edit it in such a way that it brings out the purpose that I wanted that photo to be of. Like I barely edit any photos I take digitally with my Pixel, because the Pixel does a pretty good job of like making it look as good as it can do.
Yeah.
Which I think is in a way kind of sad, because it there's very little for me to do with a photo taken by my phone except like cropping it or something, because Google already does such a pretty good job of like making it look good. Whereas with each like for example, like one photo I took was of the clock in Joy Quarter, and well, it was a really sunny day. And when I got the photo back, the photo was underexposed because obviously the camera and the film didn't really know how to handle the brightness that it was seeing or whatever. So I had to like bump down the like bump no sorry I had to bump down the exposure a little bit and then change saturation whatever. So yeah, I think some unless you are unless you're like a newsreel photographer, there isn't really any reason why it shouldn't be an artistic choice, or at least or it shouldn't be a lesser choice to edit photography. Like unless you're like trying to like I don't know like Photoshop like something horrible happening that didn't really happen or whatever. uh, then there's like but to be honest, with the rise of like AI generation, maybe you don't need to worry about that anymore. But unless you're like using it maliciously or whatever, I don't really see a reason as to say that editing a photograph is a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it's always a stylistic choice. Like I chose the film, I chose the shot, so why not choose everything else that happens after the photo is taken?
Yes. So like, especially for the old camera you were talking about, but also like cameras in general, the way they capture a picture is not exactly the same as how our eyes see the scene. So like when you edit a photo, in a way you can also like correct it to be more similar to how your eyes saw it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because there's only really a limited amount of colors that each sensor can capture, uh,
Yeah.
just by pure maths. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. Making it more closer to the original. Oh,
Yeah.
unrelated. But do you remember there was this one bug where, um, if you set your wallpaper to a specific photo, it would crash your entire
I
phone?
have heard about that, yeah.
And I think it was because the photo contained more colors than your smartphone could render on the screen or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Or like the color space or something was like just out of the like ever so slightly out of the range that a smartphone could handle. And
Even more funny, it was a single pixel that messed it up.
oh my god, no way. A whole pixel. That is so funny. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like and I was like,
one
what the
pixel had a color that Android couldn't handle.
that is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're approaching half an hour now, and so enough about cameras. Let's talk about your journey through the Fediverse, because it is a long and storied one. We have been on the Fediverse together for like a very very long time. I think
Yeah.
you're probably one of the first people I became mutuals with on Fedi, or at least like I mean it's been so long now. I think it's pretty much I think you might as well say like we were like it like as soon as I joined Fedi, you would automatically become my mutual. I think we can just say that at this point.
Yeah, well, I think we had both been on Fedi for like a month actually. Because from what I remember, it was December of 2022
Okay,
that
yeah,
we became mutuals. But
yeah,
yeah, that's a long time.
I know.
Also,
Wow, that's over. Oh, that's 2.5, almost 2.5 years now.
yeah. Also, it feels so weird for me to also see like people be like, "Who is this Yaseen creature?" And like, also like praise you so much like a god and such. Like it's just like to me, you've just been a normal person from the beginning. So it's so funny to see how that has changed, like how others see you.
It's very funny. It's very weird, right? Because like
Yeah.
you know me like quite well, so it's like to you it's like yeah, like all this shit, like none of it is real. Like what none of what you're saying is true, you know. Yeah, so I think basically you're pretty much like up there's one of my oldest friends on this federated verse, excluding the people I knew before Fedi. But so yeah, that's good. So you started on Vivaldi.net, right?
Yeah,
Or
kind of.
was there anything before that?
Kind of. I think to like explain it better, I think it makes sense for me to say that before I joined Fedi, I was very active on Twitter. Actually, I think about now I have been active on Fedi for as long as I was active on Twitter. And when I say I was active on
Okay.
Twitter, I mean like I think I have still tweeted a lot more than I've posted on Fedi. So like I was very
Wow.
active.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're saying that you've been active on Twitter for as long as you've been currently active on Fedi.
Yeah.
So you were. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Right. That that is kind of crazy to think about. But it makes sense. Like Twitter's been around since for so long that it wasn't even an app in the first place. You sent text to the Twitter service to post tweets.
Yeah, quick through SMS.
Yeah. In fact the first time I ever used Twitter was actually through SMS. which dates me, but yeah, and it was honestly it was kind of useful because my phone at the time didn't have it didn't have a proper data plan, so the only way I could update my status online was through text. So on Twitter, I think you could text it to a number that spelled out like Twitter without the vowels, and Facebook had a similar one, which was you sent your text to the word F book. And so you can update your status through text, but on Twitter and Facebook through text. So so from like 20, so for like 20, from 2010 until 2013, which is when I guess got my first smartphone, I most of the time I was outside the house. I need to update my status. I would text Facebook or Twitter to do so. And then I got a smartphone which was a Lumia 920, and I was like, whoa, I
Windows
can do
Phone.
use the use the internet outside the house. Oh my god. So but yeah, I never really actually used Twitter all that much. I deleted my account when I got a Windows phone because I wasn't finding much use out of it, and then I joined again for some reason. And I never really actually used it beyond communicating with people that I knew or sending or like tweeting at customer service agents to ask them like what or sending threats to elected politicians, which is what got my account banned because I told Rishi Sunak to play in some traffic, and apparently that was against community guidelines. So whatever. So okay, so you were a big Twitter user, and then
A bit of a
is that how
Twitter
you?
user. I just checked, and on my most active account, I have almost 50K tweets.
Oh
And
wow.
then I have a different account that's like 20K.
Okay,
So, yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So did you join Freddy from Twitter, or like was there a particular thing that happened?
Kind of in a way, but also not really.
Okay.
So, like, I had known about Mastodon for quite a while before I joined. I probably heard about it first from like some Linux YouTube or something. And it was like open source Twitter crazy, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but like, why would I use it?
Elon Musk in the corner, just
Well, it wasn't even because of him. I'm getting to it. Like, when it was like uncertain whether the deal was going through, I
oh
don't actually
yeah.
remember tweeting it, but I found an old tweet of mine where I mentioned how if Twitter went bad, I would be willing to like host a. I think I called it a community because I didn't really understand how instances played. I
Ah,
would be
okay, okay.
willing to like host a community for my friends on Twitter, which never became anything. But like, I had thought about joining for some time, but I was kind of like, why would I? I didn't really have a reason. But then at some point, one of my Twitter friends did join Fetty and like also talked about Fetty on Twitter. And it was through
Hmm.
them that I also like learned about Fetty and not just Mastodon. Like, they hosted their own Miski instance that I had
Oh,
also seen.
wow.
Yeah, and like the first time I opened it, because I didn't know better, I thought that was, I thought it was Mastodon with a different front end. But yeah, then I think it was like in the beginning of November 2022, so
Mm.
like right as things were happening anyways. I like just made an account for fun because like even though it was basically a single user instance, they had just open registrations. So I just made
Hmm.
an
Okay.
account, but I didn't really use it because, well, first of all, I didn't really like Miski that much. Um, and yeah, also because it was such a small instance, I had like no way to find people to follow really.
Right, right.
So like, I think actually, I remember my first note, as it's called on Whiskey. I think it was like, is this where I share my deepest, darkest secrets? I think that was my first Fetty post. Oh, no.
Oh my god,
But yeah,
that's great.
I didn't really start using it then, but it only took like, I think not even 2 weeks. Um, and then Vivaldi Social launched, like the Mastodon instance.
Ah.
And on one of my computers only, like in most places I use Firefox, but like uh, I like Vivaldi as a browser for like big screen use. So I use it there. And then I already had an account, which means that now that Vivaldi Social launched, I suddenly had a Mastodon account. Like,
Ah.
I didn't even
Okay.
make the Mastodon account, I just had it suddenly. And then I was like, all
Right,
right,
right.
I didn't like Whiskey, I guess I'll try Mastodon. And I did, and I actually liked it a bit more, and I realized I had
Mm.
better ways to like find new people. And also, um, my friend circles on Twitter, they were a lot smaller than here in Fatty.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
we had, like, we were all like pretty young when we became friends. And so as we all grew older, people kind of like
Right.
became less and less active. And so I felt like I was kind of losing that community. But then suddenly on Fatty, I had an opportunity for finding a new one, which I then did, and that was great.
Yay.
So yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
I am going through my archive right now, actually. I'm going to try and see if I can load my archive. This is the wrong archive. What the fuck? I have, I have one, two, three, four. I have three archive files basically of my Fetty history. Um, no, more than that because I regularly archive my posts just in case something
Yeah.
happens. So I'm trying to find out which one was the one where I left Mastodon Social.
That's
And I
social.
hope that I haven't.
Do you mean
Yeah,
that?
Mastodon,
Yeah.
Mastodon, I mean. Where is I? Would I save it? Um, if I do, ever just search for the word archive, would that help? Uh, this was edited in 2023. Is that right?
Yeah, that should be right.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully this is the right one. Ah, yes. A browse for actor.json. Where is the? Jason. So for some interesting reason, both Acoma and Mastodon both use the actor.json and outbox.json to store information. So Acoma's Acoma's exports are like compatible with tools that show you your Mastodon export, which is
Oh,
yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah. So like there's like this archive page, HTML that I have, and I can just load my things in it. So you were okay. So I remembered your old instance name.
Yeah,
So the
Jacoco.
first time I mentioned you ever is on the 19th of December 2022 at 11:18 UTC, where I replied to you by saying Americans be like put a quarter gallon of flour into the recipe.
I do remember that. Like, was
Now I
it?
really
Wait,
want to know.
wait. Wasn't it in a thread with Lady Strawberries and Milofi?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the first time I probably replied to you was when I said poor doggy sad emoji, and that was later that day. So I think we followed each other pretty soon after that interaction.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I said, "You are so cute, Liv." Heart emoji.
Yeah,
Later that day.
I do remember, like one time, it was sometime later, where you tried to claim that you didn't just randomly call people cute and such, and then I was like, wait, and looked back at it, and I do remember the second time you replied to me, you called me cute. I do remember that.
I I'm glad I used facts and logic to trap Liv in a net of her affection. Oh, that's so funny. And then I replied to you once by saying, so basically it only shows me my replies to you, so I have no idea what the context is.
Well,
Okay, so basically after so basically from the 19th of December, that was basically it. We just replied to each other like all the time.
yeah.
And one time I called you a lazy neat.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's Vivaldi.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Stony.town
Yeah.
and and Vivaldi was blocked by my instance.
Yes.
Because Vivaldi is a corporation and Stone.town had a very strong anti-corporation stance. And I didn't like realize that you were gone. I was like, oh, okay. So I like had no idea. And I think you moved to
Oh, wow, that is.
where? Yes, you moved to O.is. That was
Yeah.
great. So at that time we were friends with Autumn and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So you moved to O.is so you could follow me.
Yeah.
And that's been it. That's been yeah. So and then I joined O.is after Stone Town fell. And so for a long while we were on the same instance,
Yeah.
which is very nice and cozy.
And I also remember that when you moved to that instance, it suddenly became a lot slower.
Yeah.
The performance like drastically decreased after you moved.
And then Autumn upgraded the instance, and then all
Yeah.
those problems went away, which was very nice. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know what's so funny? That every time I try and tag you in a post on my phone, it will automatically, so the keyboard will automatically suggest at o.is. And so I just erased the o.is and just like let Akoma's auto mention thing do the rest. So that speaks to how much me and Liv reply to each other on the Fediverse, is that my phone still remembers her username from an instance gone by.
Yeah.
And then after after Autumn shut the instance down, you moved to TLA, right?
Yes, I did.
And why that particular instance as a choice?
So I can start by saying, like, the reason I moved to OO was because I knew Autumn. Like, really, I didn't even pick it because of the software. Actually, I wanted to stay on Mastodon, but it was kind of like she was the only instance admin I knew at the time. So then I picked that and I tried out Akoma, and I liked it, so I moved my account. But then I have gotten very attached to that software, especially because I've spent so much effort.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, contributing to Megalodon, the Android app, to like make it work for Akoma. And so, like, I feel like I've become very attached to the software, and so I wanted to stay on an instance that was using Akoma. But I didn't really know of any instance that I was like where I was close to an admin or something. So I had to pick one, and then I had previously heard others talk about Etherglow, the story that Winter writes.
Yes.
And I had previously read the first chapter and I really liked it, but then I didn't get further. But then when it was announced that OWO would shut down, I like set a goal for myself that I would read through Etherglow before migrating to TLA. Which,
to get the lore of the instance.
yeah, so I did that, really enjoyed it. And like, I normally don't even enjoy reading, but I enjoyed reading that, which was nice.
Good job, Winter.
Yeah. And then, yeah, as I finished it, the day before my OWO account turned 1 year old, the evening before, I then asked Winter, who like I had never talked to before actually. I like DM'd her and said I enjoyed Etherglow and asked if I could have an account. And she said yes, and I got an account. And then, yeah, the day after, on the birthday of my OWO account, I then moved to TLA.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace 0.0.
Yeah.
State.
Yeah, I do miss the instance. I thought it was really great though.
I agree. I hope Autumn's doing well.
Yeah,
And all that,
same.
you know. She deserves it.
Yeah.
And so you won TLA for
Actually, more than a year.
more than a year. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it feels weird to me that it's the instance I've been on for the longest. It feels weird to me.
because I very strongly associate you with 0w0.is.
Yeah.
Mostly because both of us were on there for like a considerable, like our tenures on there overlapped quite a bit. So
Yeah.
that's why I associate you with.
Also,
So,
I posted more back then than I have done
Oh,
since.
right.
So
I
like,
guess so. I guess
I
so.
was more active there. Like, I had more posts on OWO than TLA.
Right.
So I feel like that's also a big thing. I was more active.
I mean, to us, to me, you're still one of the OGs. So like, I'm like, oh, there's a live post. I gotta respond and like to this one, even if I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, there was one post too, like, Yaseen, do you even know what I'm saying in this post? I'm like, no, but I want to support you. I want to support like whatever this crazy thing is you're doing. I don't know what a core lib is or whatever, but yeah, I'm smashing that button to show that I have read it and I support you. In fact, I even agree with you. Like, I don't care what the opinion is. Like, I agree with you. Like, I trust you that much, Liv. Like, we've been friends for that long that I completely trust that your opinion on this technology topic is the right one to believe in.
Yeah, that reminds
And
me
then,
that because of the technical issues earlier, I never answered what RISC-V stands for.
oh, right.
Let's get through the fatty history first. and then get back to
Okay,
it.
okay. So recently, I think like a month ago, right? Or
A
more
month
than
and a
that?
half, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you moved to Void LGBT, which is run
Yes.
by Maury.
Yes.
Did you know Maury before that?
No, I didn't. But like, I know a lot of people who are in that instance, and like, I said that when I had to move away from OWO, I just needed an Akuma instance.
Hmm.
And then Void that LGBT was also one I considered then because like I
Hmm.
knew people there. Uh, Also, actually, previously, I created an old account, which was like the account I would move to if it
Oh
was shut down.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that instance also shut down. But like back then, I was also considering Void.lgbt. So like it had been on my mind for a while. Uh, and actually, if I hadn't picked a different instance for my backup account back then, I probably would have been on White.lgbt
Hmm.
the entire time. Then I moved there. There was really no big reason. It was just like a lot of small things. I don't have much to say about it.
Okay, yeah, you just moved because you wanted to,
Yeah.
really.
Also, it's very Yuri that my girlfriend is a moderator there.
Oh, I see how it is, huh? You want to exploit that relationship, huh? To do moderation breaking things. I see how it is now, Liv. I see how it is. You want to be the one to issue death threats against living against living politicians and get away with it. I understand you now, Liv. Ah, I knew it. I knew it all along. No, that's cute. That's cute. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Ali Nelly,
Yeah.
the one of the greatest bands on this federated universe.
Yeah, I'm quite a big fan.
Yeah, yeah. And Murray's a good egg as well. She seems to have her head on straight in terms of doing instant stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
also had
I'm
a
not
good
on instance,
impression.
but she's fine. I mean, as a friend, she's fine. So like, I don't really have any issues with her
Yeah.
per se.
Yeah, and also like since the instance for my backup account also shut down, I had to get a new backup account. So like that was this one. So yeah, I actually made this account more than a year ago, and I've been using it like a little bit. So like I knew the instance from that, and
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's right. That's
So
right. And I mean,
yeah,
it almost is so real that you said that you just got used to a coma. Because like I feel the exact same way. Like when 000 shut down, I was like, "Fuck! I need to move to a coma instance because
yeah,
I just cannot handle any of the software." Because I think at the time, like Sharky was a big deal as it still is now.
yeah.
But I think like the Firefish Ice Shrimp that wasn't as developed. I think back then.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah. It was. It was
Yeah, it
back then.
was. Oh. Oh yeah, yeah, it was. Well, I didn't really like Firefish anyway. And I didn't really like Sharky. I didn't want to go back to Mastodon.
Yeah.
And basically, I liked emoji reactions, and I liked quoting, and I liked Akoma, and I had
Yeah.
my custom Akoma theme. So it's like I really didn't want to like lose all that work. So I had to join another Akoma instance, and that's why I joined Zone. And to, to be honest, I feel like perhaps if I was starting all over again, I might join like an ice shrimp instance. And like that's number two to me in terms of like the software that all these various servers run. Like Sharky, I feel like it's just a little bit. I don't know, it just feels a little bit too much for me. But ice shrimp feels just restrained enough
Yeah. I
for
also
my
like it
taste.
more. I say despite having a Sharky account I use, but not an iShrimp account I use a lot.
Ice shrimp, and you can bite people on ice shrimp. So
Well,
thank you Mia
yes,
for
some
the
bugs.
bite patch.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Ellie and I do that a lot to each other. Like,
Do you to use the bite function in that applet that I showed you?
which one?
Oh, the one that I pat you with and hug you with. There's a bite function on that.
Oh, I haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
that. But also, we don't text over Discord normally. We use Signal.
Oh, okay. I see. You don't want the government spying on your illicit activities. I understand. Don't worry. Whatever you two get up to in your spare time, it's not my place to say. Of course, you know what a what a dog and a bun do. It's you know, whatever nature says. It's whatever nature wants. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think we really like about it. We really like the stickers because we have the new emoji packs. So we use those a lot. Like we spam each other with fleeting stickers.
Right. Yeah. Of course you would. Yeah. You see, I would never. I've never like once in my life used any of the pleading emojis. The only time I've used the pleading emoji is, ironically, or one time when no, actually, I've never used it sincerely. Actually,
I
like
do
I
that a
don't know. I
lot.
just feel like I feel like I feel like I could never plead at someone using the emoji. It just feels like it's not my style. You know, my style is to to make it seem like it was the other person's idea in the first place to do what I want for, through the through just like be like, oh, are you sure you do? Are you sure, you know, please, kind of thing. But that's enough of my productivities with women. So yeah, and another thing in relation to like our shared history is that you were one of the people mentioned in the original
Yes.
in that dream post about,
Yeah, it was
about you
mentioned
seeing this.
twice even.
Oh yeah, what? I mentioned you twice.
Yeah, because, well, to be clear, the thing you're talking about is like only a true Yasinist will put
Yes, yes.
Yasinist in their name for 5 day and night cycles.
For 5 days cycles. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like you tagged me and some others, but then you used like me as an example for having it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
also, I remember in Julia's Yaskast episode, she said that she saw me put it in my actual display name first, and then she did it too. So I kind of started it there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's so funny. Like,
Yeah,
just like, oh yeah, Liv's doing this thing. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna join the thing.
yeah. I think also I did it so quickly that like by the time you saw my display name, I already had it. Like as if the dream was just reality.
Yeah, that was really funny. That was honestly so funny. It's kind of funny how like it went from being this like in joke between like our group of friends, right, and then kind of expanding outwards from that. I'm like, okay, and then people took it seriously, which is like, okay, buddy, like it is not that deep. And then it kind of then the seriousness led to more people doing it in the jokey way. And now I think it's kind of like settled down into people being like, oh yeah, this was a thing that happened in the past, kind of thing. I think the anniversary of that is coming up now. The second anniversary of that is coming up. It's after the anniversary for the copy pasta,
Yeah.
which is next month.
So many things happened that summer.
That's what a weird summer that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, maybe like everyone collectively got like some kind of like brainworms that just made them do weird shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah. So and you've been quite a staunch proponent of our friendship, which I really appreciate, of course, Liv.
Yeah, thank you, and
You
you too.
know, like I would also equally like if it was the other way around, I would have done the same thing for you.
Yay.
Like I would have totally started a fictional, a fictional, a fictional in-joke cult based on Live and Cookie.
I'm not sure if I could deal with that as well as you're doing.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, dealing with it was really really fucking crazy. You just gotta let it. You just gotta let it like wash off you, man. You just gotta let it wash off you. Oh, also, obviously you guys can't see it because you guys don't have eyes, only ears. But Liv currently has a massive non-binary flag in the
Oh, yeah.
background, and is also wearing dog ears
Yes. I'm not even
because Liv
non-binary.
is a dog. You're not. Yeah, I'm thinking. Wait, is Liv non-binary? Is this something that I've overlooked? I'm like, no, Liv just has a non-binary flag.
Yeah.
Just why not?
Also behind
Right?
my laptop, you can't see that, but I also have an equivalent pansexual flag. And like, as everyone knows, I am a lesbian, not pansexual.
Yeah.
You look confused for a
the
moment.
two the two identities that like you're not even close to in any way, shape, or form. You just have them because why not, right? It looks cool
Yeah,
anyway.
I like it. Also to show my support for the people who are.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, it's not too different to people having flags of like sports teams and stuff
I guess, yeah.
in their rooms. You know, your favorite team is non-binary, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of non-binary creatures.
Thank you, Liv. See, everyone should have a friend like Liv, in my opinion. And now imagining like a football match between like non-binary FC and some other team. Oh my god, Liv also has a master plush. I also have a master plush. It is currently right there. You see that beige thing in the
Yeah.
corner of the screen? That's the master plush right there.
Oh.
That is not a master plush. That is an Amazon bag.
I feel like I can see the eye through it.
that is a Amazon bag. That is not a master plush. I think the plushie is over there. You can't see it because it's behind me.
The thing that looks
Yeah,
like
what?
the eye is then just like a black mark.
Yeah. That's an address label that you can. that is not a master plushie at all. Whoops. Well, never mind. So one of the other things I needed to do before we move on to the next part is I need to say the following. This episode of the Yascast versus trademark GmbH LLC has been brought to you by the new AI-powered, fully automated luxury tournament Nexus powered by Oracle. If you need to spy on your population and process the entire internet's worth of information under the guise of adding useless functionality to your modern computing, your best choice for plausible deniability is the Torment Nexus. I have been using the Torment Nexus for almost a year, and I am incredibly happy with the results. I cannot recommend the Torment Nexus enough to all my followers. You need to give yourself over. You need to give yourself over to the Torment Nexus for true happiness! Exclamation mark. Oh, okay. You need to give yourself over to the Torment Nexus for true happiness. Get 30% off your Torment Nexus order by using the offer code Yaseenism911 at the checkout. The new AI-powered, fully automated luxury Torment Nexus, powered by Oracle. Because if you don't use it, the economy and society will collapse. Thank you, Genetrix at tech.lgbt, for making me say that on this episode. If you also want me to say random stuff on the show, you can just give me like £5 or something. I will say pretty much anything within reason. I don't. People are going to say weird stuff on the show, so whatever. Oh, by the way, Livy, have you ever seen this anime called You want to paradise?
I have not even heard of it.
You never heard of it, so you don't know what it is?
No.
Oh, so you want to parodies nuts? Li- Liv is laughing so hard that her face is bright.
It already turned red when you were reading the sponsor
Oh,
segment.
good. Oh, good. I was so focused on reading it. I was like, yes, these nuts indeed. You fell for the oldest trick in the book, lad. Liv.
So that's
So,
why you asked me if I watch anime before.
yeah,
we
yeah,
started
yeah. Because
recording.
I was like, if you didn't watch anime, this would have been like a really. So before we started the episode, I asked Liv if she'd watched any anime, and she said, yeah, like a while ago. I was like, okay, great. Because if you hadn't watched anime, this joke there'd be no point to me asking you this question. Like, have you watched this anime? I've never seen this anime before, and then I would say that, sure, but like it wouldn't have the same effect as if you had watched anime before. So last weekend was the Eurovision Song Contest, which we
Yes.
both observed.
Yeah.
I watched it in a cinema with Kuriko. It was a very communal experience, and every time Israel appeared, everyone booed or left.
Good.
So when Israel's song came on, I think Israel was like number 3 in the running order. Everyone got up, left, and went to the bar collectively. And I was like, oh great, this is the perfect time to go to the toilet. Because me and Kirk had eaten before we got in, so it was a perfect time to go to the toilet. So and you and I were live messaging each other with a contribution from Ellie
Yes.
for pretty much all the night. Um, God, it takes forever, doesn't it? Like it finished at midnight for me, which would have been like 1 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yes.
And I got home and I was like, oh my God, I hate myself. We stayed up too late. I didn't go to bed until like 1:30, I think. And then we got like 4 hours of sleep, and I had to have brunch next morning with Kurika, and we were both
Oh.
like, kill me. Brunch was great though. It was so delicious. Actually, so I had picked a brunch place for us to go to, and it was open on Google Maps. We we walked from where Kirko's hotel was in the city center to all the way, literally like almost pretty much like across town, to this place, and because it was in the canals area, we got there, and the place was like gutted, like it wasn't there anymore. I was like, oh
Oh.
great. So Google Maps lied to us. Like the place is permanently closed. This is so annoying. I am hungry. We need to go somewhere to eat brunch. And then we're like, oh, what about the place we walked past on the way here? And that was a great choice. Because it was really tasty and I could get extra sausages, and that was a good brunch. And then I was like, Kiriko, I think you should go home because I am not gonna stay awake for the rest of the day. He was like, yep, that's fair enough. Goodbye, goodbye from me. And we parted ways. So yeah, what did you think of the song contest?
Uh, it was interesting. Like, I think it's also just like an experience of watching it together with people. That's like a big part of it. I live at a dorm where I share a kitchen with some people, and then I was watching it with in our basement, which we also share with some of those people. Um, and yeah, it's just fun to like sit together with some
It
people
is
and
a
then watch like a big event and that way.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. This is one of those things I think it's probably best to watch with other people. I think the experience of going to the cinema and watching it with strangers was interesting because even though we didn't particularly like interact with each other like in the same way that you would have done with your flatmates and stuff, like the kind of communal spirit, especially when songs come on or people start singing or whatever, or when the British act came on, when the UK came on, everyone's like, yeah, woo! And it was really nice to share that like communal experience. And I think it was kind of crazy how close we were to a unfavorable outcome at the end of the
Yes.
competition. And many people have written articles about the what has transpired, and I honestly believe that there was some level in a way of like, I mean, it's wrong to call it vote rigging because it's kind of exactly how Eurovision voting works in a way. Anyone can vote up to 20 times, and there's really no restrictions on like the amount of phone numbers you can have or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's really not like it's not it's like it's one of those things that's wrong in spirit if not in practice. Like uh, the way that the public votes were very biased towards one particular entry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, of course, the reason you can vote so many times is because they get money for each vote.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, they repeat
In
it
I don't
so
know how
many
much it costs.
times throughout the show. It's like, remember to vote 20 times. And it's like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah. I feel like they because this year they started voting as soon as the competition began. So if you liked a particular act, you could vote for it straight away. And I really think that is probably because the EBU was not getting enough money from the televotes in prior years. I feel like that was a way to get like more activity in that sense. And yeah, I think that's really like the EBU benefits from a lot of votes happening, no matter who they go to.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't, yeah, like, and I feel like really it's easier to vote for someone than against someone because there's 26 acts in the final, and so you have, if you're an anti, you have 25 choices, whereas if you're pro, you have one choice, the act that you want to win.
Yeah.
So there's no way to have a concerted like opposition in any case. And the other thing is that in Britain at least, it only costs 15p to send a text, which I think is one of the cheapest in Europe. You don't need an ID to get a SIM card. You can just buy one, like from a corner shop. I mean, in fact, my butcher shop has SIM cards that you could just pick them off the shelf and activate them. Like it is that easy to get a SIM card in this country. There's no restrictions. So it is pretty easy to like to farm in that sense, at least in Britain. So yeah, I think it kind of makes Eurovision kind of like the EBU claims it's not a political organization, but it does activities that are very deeply political, like banning pride flags, banning Palestinian flags, choosing whether or not a certain country is in or not. And the thing is that people will compare like the situation with Russia, for example. And the reason why Russia got banned was not because of its activities outside of Eurovision. It got banned because the EBU was scared that broadcasters were going to pull out. And when the big broadcasters like Germany, France, Britain, and I think Italy is one of the big ones,
Probably,
when
yeah.
they threatened to pull out, then the EBU was like, okay, fine, Russia can't come in. And with Belarus, I think it was like very similar reasons. So if the EBU is threatened, which it most definitely will be next year, then I imagine that they will cave to that kind of pressure because the EBU requires the support of the broadcasters to exist,
Yes.
like straight up. So the broadcasters have immense power to do something about the situation at the EBU. And that's why, of course, after the show ended, and in the last couple of weeks, and last like week or so, we've had like the Spanish broadcaster and the Slovenian broadcaster and so on. They've been saying actually, the way this competition was conducted is not appropriate, and that should make the EBU scared for next year. And also, it's a good thing that Israel didn't win because if it was hosted next year, I guarantee you that the viewership would go like a stone. It especially in those countries where pro-Israel, so pro-Palestinian sentiment is quite high, like Ireland and Spain. Those countries will definitely see a huge drop in numbers. So where does the Eurovision contest go from here, and like the EBU in general? Like, I don't really know. The EBU is a very nebulous organization that kind of exists for a purpose that is beyond the scope of its original like scheming. It's taken on much of a bigger role. Its role has shrunk as it's grown essentially. So, and Eurovision is like the main kind of, I guess, expression of their role, which is to be like a kind of union, which is what the U stands for, of these European broadcasters. Wow. And yeah, I don't know. I think next year's Eurovision will be very interesting from a kind of technical, from a political point of view,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, that's also the thing of the biggest sponsor being an Israeli company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's
I
right.
forgot
That's
what it's
also very
called.
interesting too.
I don't remember what
It's like Morocco something. Morocco.
Yeah,
Something like that.
something
Like
like
it has the name of another country in the name to make it sound like it's not, not Israeli. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I agree. Yeah, that also plays a big hand. Like, how can you be neutral and then have that kind of sponsor of your event?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But next year will be an interesting one. I don't know what it will do, but I mean, hey, Austria's a good place at least.
Yeah. Well, also, that's the thing I've been thinking about a bit with like the thing of them saying that it's apolitical, but then some people would say, oh, but it's political that they would kick out Russia, but not Israel when they're doing similar things. But actually, you can define political in different ways. And like one definition is like political is things that are controversial within like a sphere. And in that way, you can say,
Like women in video games, that's political.
yes. But like, in a way, you can say banning Russia was apolitical because everyone agrees Russia is bad. So therefore, it's not political to say Russia is bad. That's just, yeah, what most people say.
That's the consensus.
The consensus, yes, that was the word I was looking for. But then for Israel, it's like more controversial because there are actually supporters of Israel for some reason. So like,
Yeah.
it's more like controversial, so that is actually political by this definition. So
That's true. Yeah, I
in
agree.
that way,
I agree. Yeah.
banning Russia is not political, but banning Israel is in that way.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. In any case, I mean, Israel may not even be eligible next year to enter
Yeah.
because Khan, who is the Israeli public broadcaster, may be disbanded by the Netanyahu government because the government believes that Khan is too critical of government. This is after the fact that Khan only exists because the previous Israeli broadcaster, like the original Israeli broadcaster, there is a cockroach inside the box and I have to get it out.
Oh.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Where is it? Where has it gone? Hello, I'm back.
Hello, I posted about it.
What you posted about? What did you say?
I posted that you were fighting a cockroach.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. So, so just to let you know, I had to take a little break. because I had to fight a cockroach. My mom came into the room. She was like, "Yaseen, there's a big cockroach in his box. Get it out, get it out." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So she made me take the cockroach of the box into the conservatory where I am, and I lifted the. So I basically pointed the box towards the window, towards the door, and then I tilted the box in such a way that the cockroach would jump out into the garden. So it's free now.
Yay.
So yeah, so Khan was created to replace a previous Israeli broadcaster, like the original one, who the government thought was too critical of its conduct. So Khan will would in theory be replaced by a private broadcaster who just so happens to be friends with Netanyahu. No conflict of interest there, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, who would do such a thing like that? Who would yeah. And so if Khan is replaced, if Khan is replaced, well, if Khan is removed from existence and not replaced at all, then Israel technically doesn't have a public broadcaster, which means that they wouldn't be able to enter the Eurovision because there's no public broadcaster to enter the EBU. Now, I'm wondering if the EBU will change their rules to allow that, because that would be very interesting. Because even like, I mean, obviously there are state controlled very state aligned broadcasters in Europe, like in Hungary, for example, where the state broadcaster is very not critical of the government. So it's not like the EBU.
Oh,
So, and that's the other thing too, is that like the Israeli government does that, then they might not even be able to get in the EBU anymore. But I'm sure the EBU will find some sort of loophole or something somewhere to
yeah.
let them in. But it's pretty cut and dry. Like, you can't be in the EBU if you're not a public run broadcaster. But who knows? Whatever. That's for next year or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. Netanyahu is a crazy guy. So, I mean, this is not a politics podcast. I mean, it is a politics podcast. But I think the Israel Gaza conflict is a little bit out of scope for this show. But speaking of, did you know that there is or was or will be plans for like an American version of Eurovision?
I hadn't heard of that, no.
Like, so it'll be called the American Song Contest. And each state would send a representative, just like how each country sends a representative to Eurovision. And I'm thinking, how the fuck is that supposed to work? Like, sure, there's some cultural diversity between each state, but like, it's not quite a difference between like Britain and France, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and California could just send Katy Perry every year and they'd win. So it's like, like, I'm not quite sure like what the Eurovision's purpose is to unite the continent through music and also to be a television test. But that's the real reason. But what is the whole point of the American Song Contest? To like the Americans have like have very similar cultures. They speak the same language. They have the same systems of governance. They literally have the same cultural like touchstones. You know, like the whole country has existed for like barely the blink of an eye. You know, my secondary school is only like no my street is like older than the entire United States. Like, there are maps dating back to like 1550 with my street on it. So it's not like there's any kind of like, and I feel like the thing a bit is that with an American Song Contest is that modern music is very strongly influenced by American music, like rock and roll, for example, jazz, the blues, R&B, hip hop. Like America is such a rich cultural diversity and cultural influence in terms of music. So I wonder like what will be the point of exposing each American music even further in that sense.
Yeah. I also find it interesting how they call it the American Music Contest, but only one country in America is a part of it.
Yeah, like if it was every single country in the Americas, that I would definitely would be interested
Yeah.
to observe. But I think America would probably win that just by sending Katy Perry every year.
Yeah. I mean, they could maybe find a way to phrase a rule that would prevent that. I don't know how you would do
Oh
that,
yeah,
but
maybe.
how could you make a rule that prevents the right people from, um, yeah, singing in it?
Yeah,
Uh, without
yeah.
saying individual people, like you can't. Like they would kind of have to like make a rule, but like what would you base that on? Like how do you define that someone is too popular to be a contestant?
I mean, to be honest, like in European history, like there's been Celine Dion, who performed for Switzerland, I think. So even in European history, there have been very, very popular artists who have
Yeah.
performed for a country. But I think with an American Song Contest, we have always out the rest of the countries on the continent. Like it'd be very difficult to do just by the sheer force of American cultural hegemony.
Yeah.
The USA could win just by it doesn't have to be Katy Perry, but like they could win every year. Or California could win every year. New York could win every year. There's the 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 reality is that a lot of American culture is the culture of the big economic powerhouses of the country.
Yeah.
So someone who is from one of those like tiny states that who no one cares about would probably be singing something very loosely inspired by like New York hip hop or Californian pop punk or like
Yeah.
Baltimore emo or something.
That does sound very likely.
So I don't know. I think it kind of misses like the whole point of like the cultural diversity of the European Song Contest in that sense. Unless like every state, and I don't think like there's very much in the way of like styles of music that are kind of specific to one part of the country or whatever. But actually, yeah. And also like who would be the one to judging each entry? Because in the Eurovision, the member states as broadcasters are the ones that do it. So for us it's the BBC, and for you it's whatever, I don't know what it's called. DK1 maybe.
I think it would be the DR,
The DR. Okay,
Danish
I was
radio.
close. I had Dutch radio. Okay, so yeah, who would judge it? Like, because each state doesn't have their own like broadcaster, so they would have to set up like their own infrastructure to do all that thing. Anyway, if it is real or was real, I've never heard it. If it will be real, it will be a flop, just like with the American version of like pretty much any American adaptation of anything from Europe sucks. The only one I can really point to is like The Office, but that's only because they actually properly adapted it. Because with The Office, they actually like copied the British style for the first season, and then later on they actually changed it up to be more American, and that's when it became really popular. But that's because they like put like a lot of effort into like localizing it, whereas other stuff like the IT Crowd and Shameless and many other British adaptations, or like The Bridge, like that was another one that they did. That crime drama, the one where the body is split between Norway and Sweden, I think, on a bridge or something, or was it Denmark and Sweden? Whatever,
I don't
I
know
don't
what that
remember.
is.
I don't, it's called. It's basically there's this crime drama called The Bridge, and it is set in two of the Nordic countries. And basically, there's a dead body, and the body is split evenly at the border on this bridge. And so both countries try and take like jurisdiction of the whole thing. There was a British and French adaptation of it called The Tunnel, where the body is found in the Channel Tunnel, but of course there's no other land border between the two countries. And I think there was an American adaptation, but like the jurisdiction was between two states, which isn't really as like fascinating, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically know way too much about television, I think.
Yeah, I don't watch that much television. Um, yeah.
Right, yeah, no one in Fetty seems to watch television. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, besides like anime, I suppose, but like whenever I talk about television, like the only people who like respond are people who like are around my age who have watched this bit of television. Like there are like Netflix shows that I think people like reference and whatever, but these are things that have like happened in the past. Like whenever I say something about Friends, like the only people who say anything are people who are my age who watched Friends when it was airing, and
Yeah. Well, even anime, I don't watch that much. I guess, like, typically, if I watch a TV show, it will typically be an anime, but, like, I just don't watch TV much in general. So, yeah, I also don't watch anime
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. In terms of TV, I recently watched. I mean, my television watching has decreased over the years. I think because of Fetty, actually. But I recently watched The Rehearsal, the season 2, and it is honestly it's pretty good. I can't really say much about it because everything I say would spoil it. Like I can't really explain the concept to you. Like this guy is Nathan Fielder, who is a comedian who is known for his unusual style of comedy. He is rehearsing everyday encounters so that the people who do them can feel more equipped to handle them when they happen in reality. So the very first episode of season 1, for example, is him helping this person rehearse a confession to about his history to his best friend in a bar. So what he does, he recreates the entire bar down to like the posters on the wall, so that he can rehearse and practice and improvise the scenario with this person so that when the real time comes, it all falls into place. And that is the premise for the first episode, and from there it really spirals out of control in terms of what gets rehearsed. And I feel like it's a very Fetty coded TV show because it is unintentionally a very accurate portrayal of autism. Like it is really really strange in how well it captures at least from my understanding of like the autistic experience of having to like rehearse social interactions, not understanding the social cues, not understanding how to which actor you're supposed to play
Yeah.
in a particular scenario, the mask and that kind of stuff. And this really helps. Like I mean not really helps, but this really shows to a neurotypical audience at least what it's like to experience that kind of like thought processes in terms of like that flowchart style way of dealing with social interactions. And if you're autistic and you like things that are funny in a nail-bitingly emotionally cringe way, then Rehearsal is definitely for you. And also in season 2 they do planes, so that should spark your interest in autism.
I was gonna say, like,
In fact,
maybe I should try watching it, but, like, I know I won't end up doing it because I don't watch TV. But yeah, nice recommendation at least.
okay, yeah, thank you, Liv. Okay, do you want to move to? Actually, do I have anything else on these notes? Oh yes, shout out to Jenny. I just wrote that on here. I don't know what the context was for this. I just wrote shout out to Jenny. And I think I was meant to shout out to Jenny for something. But here you go, Jenny. Here is your shout out. That I wrote. This isn't something you asked. I wrote this in the notes. And I don't know why I have it here. But hi, Jenny. Hope you're doing okay. This is the shout out that I meant to give you for a reason that made sense to my past self. Note to future me, please write more descriptive notes in the show notes so that I know why I wrote this. This is what happens when you write notes to yourself and like a lot of the notes that I write for the show, I'm like sleeping. I'm like, oh my god, this would be a great thing to ask on the show. And I like get on my phone, I quickly write it down and go back to sleep. And obviously I really need to obviously it made sense to me at that time when I wrote this, and now it doesn't. Well, there we go. Do you want to move on to the questions?
There's still one thing we haven't gotten to, which was the very first thing in the podcast. RISC-V.
Oh, right. So it took us over an hour and a half to ask this question.
Yes.
Yeah. So what does RISC-V stand? RISC-V. What does RISC-V stand for?
What was it again that you thought it was?
Really interesting something chip, I think, or circuit.
It is reduced instruction set computing.
Oh yeah, I knew that actually. I was just testing your live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what a reduced instruction set computer?
Computing.
Computing. Yeah, I know what reduced set computing is.
Yeah.
I mean, so reduce means small,
Yes.
and computing is what you do on a computer, and an instruction set is the things you tell a computer to do.
Well,
And 5 means it's version 5. There you go, see?
well, you say computing is what you do on a computer, but not necessarily, because like when you add two numbers, also like in your head, you can also say you're computing the result.
That's true.
So, like
That's true.
it's not necessarily something to do with the machine. And yeah, this is also about doing things like adding numbers, because RISC-V is like a CPU architecture like x86 or ARM, and it's like I think mostly open source thing. So you can think of it kind of like ARM, but I don't think you have to like have some agreement with the company to use it.
Ah, okay.
I think that's how it works.
Right.
And like reduced instruction set computing, I think ARM. I think ARM is also a RISC architecture. It's basically like, for instance, with x86, there are like so many different instructions that the processor can run. But then for a RISC architecture, you just have like way fewer instructions. So it's like way simpler to implement, and you can like optimize each instruction way better because there are way fewer to focus on.
Right.
Yeah. But then it becomes more difficult to program it because you don't have as many functions built in. So like
Right. So it's a compromise between complexity and efficiency.
yeah, and ease of use. Like for instance, relatively not even that many years ago, the ARM architecture didn't even have division as an instruction. Like you had to do that manually with the other instructions. Yes, he is looking confused.
Huh?
Yeah, like the computer hardware couldn't perform division. You had to do that in software.
But what? But isn't it the whole point of a computer to do maths really, really quickly? How does it not do division then?
Well, division is actually pretty complicated to do with computers. Like
Oh.
addition isn't that bad, and subtraction is literally the same as addition. And I don't know much about multiplication, but like I don't think it's that difficult. But division is like a big thing. And I think the point wasn't like, yeah, it's reduced instruction set. So it was just easier not to implement it in hardware. And then you could like write a software algorithm that could do it instead. Because there is a way to do it with like, I don't remember specifically how it works, but like subtracting numbers and shifting around the bits and such. Like that's also what the hardware is doing, but then the hardware was not doing it here and you had to do it in software.
Ah, okay. Right. That makes sense to me. You explained it very well to me, Lev.
Thank you. Uh,
Now I have a degree in computer science.
yeah, there is a course at my university about RISC-V, which I really want, but I'm not sure if I can have, if like other courses can fit into my study plan. That makes it so I would
I
actually
see.
like be able to follow that course about RISC-V. So like it's also a big thing for me that I'm like trying to plan it all out so I can have that course.
Well, good luck, Lev.
Thank you.
When I was in university, I accidentally front loaded like 80% of my modules into my first semester by mistake.
That sounds stressful.
Because I was interested. Yeah, because I was interested in these. So I did psychology at university. So I was interested in these. So basically, you had to pick 6 modules, right?
Yeah.
And you were supposed to do 3 in the first semester and 3 in the second semester, with an additional module each semester for like research methods or like writing technique or whatever, right? So auxiliary stuff. And I didn't realize this. So I just picked the 6 modules that were most interesting to me. And it turned out that 4 of them were in the first semester and 2 of them were in the second semester. And I didn't like realize this. But it's okay because I got a good grade in all of them.
Nice.
So it worked out in the end. But it meant that my second year was very, very sparse in that I only had to go in like 3 times every 3 times over 2 weeks.
Oh.
Whereas in my first semester, I went in like 6 times over 2 weeks. So yeah, so the second semester I spent like a lot of time like doing the work and stuff, whatever. But I had like so much extra like free time that I joined like way more society like clubs and stuff and societies in the second semester because I had so much extra time to do stuff. Yeah, but you know it went well. So now I have a degree. But unfortunately, this job market means that it's not very useful.
Yeah.
Thank you. 15 years of austerity. Hooray.
Yeah, I'm at an engineering university, so I don't think it's gonna be like super difficult for me.
Thank you, Liv. I hope so. You owe me many sweeties over the years. So
Well, then hopefully I'll be able to afford that.
okay, right. Let's bring this up.
The audience questions?
Yes.
I still have not seen them.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well,
I boosted it recently.
I saw 2 by accident. Wait, one of them
Oh, I
was
see.
yes, the first one. But yeah, I have the thread muted, so I didn't get any notifications,
Okay.
and like it was like the post was completely gone for
see.
me.
Oh, great. Do you want to unmute it now, or
Yeah. Well,
okay?
just that.
Do you want me to give you the link?
I have it on my phone because like I then opened one of my old accounts, found it there, and then copied the link, searched for it on my main account, and then I could bookmark it.
Yeah, Akama really needs a way to unmute posts that you've muted
Yeah.
because you won't be able to find them
Yeah.
once they're muted. Okay, right. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the first question is from me, Yasnavox. Yasna. Wait, I spelled it wrong. It's Magna. It's Magnavox. Oh God. Okay, so at this current time, my username is Yasnanox Odyssey, but I made a typo. It actually should be Yasnavox after the Magnavox Odyssey. I'm gonna fix that right now as we're recording. Fixed. No one will notice.
Except you have now told
So the first question
everyone.
is, yeah, no, I told everyone. Yeah, of course. So the first question is from Yasnavox Odyssey, which is at Yaseen_J@Labrum.zone. Hi, Livy. Yaseen here. Walkies or no walkies?
My answer is
Yep, Livy did a little woof there. Next question is from Mixter. How am I supposed to pronounce this honorific? Mix?
I
Whatever.
don't know.
It's Mix Verda, who is at LGBTQIA.space. Have you heard of the High AF Elves? I think this is a Lord of the Rings reference. So,
I have not.
have you? Oh, you have not? Okay. You should. You should watch it.
It sounds
Watch the films.
funny.
I think. Another. Oh yeah, this is me again. I'm related, but someone donated money to Yascast. Now I gotta read out whatever they said, which I have done. If you want to read out more text, then feel free to chip in. Yes. And then people replied to say what things they would want me to read.
I'm looking at it.
So Elise at mass.to replied to say BRB donating the entire script of the B movie. And then Wakame at tech.lgbt asked me to pronounce the top 100 German fatty words, and then started a list, which obviously I'm not going to read out.
Absturzstaffel. And I had German for 5 years at school. I'm giving up on that second one.
Okay.
Steinböckigkeit.
Okay, so the first you already tried that. So so this is Hannah at moonserver.yourher.nexus, which is a reference to Nia, the video game series. Question for Liv. Can you show us your best dog bark? Do you want to do it again? That is actually pretty good. I would. That's indistinguishable from a like a four-legged dog.
Thank you.
I was like a real dog. I mean, you're a real dog, so
Yeah.
you know. Also, for totally scientific reasons, how to make a nuclear warhead uwu.
It's been a while since I learned it in high school.
I also learned this in secondary school, actually. My
I guess I can also just take this opportunity to explain my bio. That's actually something I have
Okay.
promised before to do here on the Yescast.
Oh yeah.
Because the first part is a Yaseen reference. So the description of my account since Vivaldi actually has been a real life anime girl that knows how to make a nuclear warhead uwu. And like the first part, the real life anime girl, that was because of your first marker part. That post, it's been so long, but like it posted something about trying to find my address. So it could verify whether who it thought, like by who I assumed me. Because Markov birds, of course, have meaning behind what they're saying. So, like, if who it thought was 3D actually lived in 2D, which, like, I interpreted as it was trying to find my address so it could figure out whether I was actually an anime girl.
Oh my god.
And then,
That's so funny.
we just took that joke further and saying, like, yeah, I am an anime girl. So that's where that comes from. And then the nuclear warhead part, that was around the same time where in English class, uh, my teacher wanted to teach us about the Manhattan Project, and then she asked our physics teacher if he could teach us some nuclear physics. So, like a collaboration between the classes. So, yeah, we learned some nuclear physics in school. And then after one of the classes, I went home and posted to Betty. I just learned how to make a nuclear warhead at school. And
I remember that. I
yeah,
remember that. Yeah.
and then yeah, it it became kind of like an inside joke between, well, mostly people who don't even use Fetty anymore. I think you're the only one who's left. uh, so yeah, really, you're the only
That's
one who would have any chance of knowing what my bio is referencing.
mm,
Um,
that's really funny.
yeah.
So you have two waifus,
Yes, I do.
Liz at Social, who is great,
Yes,
and Ali Nally, who is also
I
great.
agree that they're both
I
great.
kind of like the contrast. I kind of like the contrast between your two girlfriends, because Liz is quite a like at least to me, like Liz is quite a like reserved like kind of person, you know. Whereas Ellie is much more like no, Liz is a little bit more like introverted. I would say like she has a little bit more of an introverted
Yeah.
like style to her. Whereas not like whereas Ellie is much more extroverted. So I like the contrast between your two girlfriends there, and then you're kind of like I feel like you're kind of like in the middle in terms of like a little bit ambiverted in my opinion.
I
Like
guess.
you're very sociable at least as far as I mean you're on here, so that's kind of it. But
Yeah.
like to me, you're very sociable.
Also, I
But
think like your standard for that is like Fatty standard, where everyone is an introvert.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so the next question is from Hannah, who says that dinner on Friday. Hannah cooks good food sometimes. Well, it is currently Tuesday 27th. So if you're inviting me for dinner on Friday the 30th, then I am absolutely down for dinner with you, Hannah. Does that count as a date? Let's say yes. Let's say it counts as a date, Hannah. It is currently rainstorming right now. The noise is so loud that I can hear it through my headphones. The question for both of us: which instrument would you play in a band? I was actually in a band in secondary school,
Wow.
so I played the bass guitar. Yeah. I think I've said this before on the Askcast, but I'll say it again. In school with my friends, I got a guitar from my uncle. He just turned up one day and said, "Hey, here's a guitar." Like, okay. I never like I had no interest playing guitar beforehand, but I was like, well, if I have a guitar, I might as well take lessons. And he got me a Fender Stratocaster in sunburst colors. If you don't know what that means, it means that it's one of those like I wouldn't say entry level guitars, but it's like a workhorse of a guitar, basically. No one would people would think that you have a good guitar if you had a Fender Stratocaster, and it looks good too. It had a nice design to it. I think it was a knockoff, to be quite honest. I think it wasn't actually a real Fender Stratocaster, but it was a nice guitar anyway. And I was like, well, I might as well learn to play guitar. So I learned to play guitar, and also I had an acoustic guitar, which my parents got me from Asda, the the supermarket. Oh my god, that's so cool. Yeah, it looked pretty much like that. And that was a pretty alright guitar. So yeah, I played bass guitar in that band with my electric guitar because we didn't have a bassist. We had two guitarists already. So I was like, yeah, you could be the bassist. Just play bass on your regular guitar. Yeah, okay, sure, I can do that. And we didn't have a name, but I wrote the music, so I wrote the lyrics. I was the song writer, but I wasn't the singer. I was just a guitarist. So I wrote the. It was a bit like a Pete Wentz situation, like in Fall Out Boy. Like Pete Wentz wrote the songs, but he didn't necessarily sing them. I think. So I wrote the lyrics, and I also helped with writing the music and stuff. It's been a long time. Like my music, like reading skills have really atrophied. Like I basically cannot read sheet music anymore, which kind of sucks. But yeah, and we had actually had a gig lined up at the school's music festival. And it was like, oh my god, this is like it. This is it. This is it. This is our big break. It wasn't gonna be a big break, but whatever. It was gonna be nice. And our singer like just didn't turn up. He just dropped out of the band before we were supposed to go on. And I was like, fuck. Okay. And the thing is that we picked a song by this band called Stone Sour. And the thing with most music is structured around the bass line and the drums and stuff. But this is one of those very few songs where the instrumentation was structured around the vocals. So while the bass and drums were there, you're kind of following along with the vocals to keep your place in the music. And so we had no lead singer, so we were doing an instrumental version of the song, which a song that required you to like follow along with the vocalist. Then my amp broke
Oh.
during the performance. The keyboard that we had, the sound from it started getting garbled halfway through the song, and we finished it up. We wrapped it up, and we got like applause, hooray, yay! And we actually won first prize
Nice.
because all the other acts sucked. We were the only one that put effort in. So yes, the answer to the question is I would play guitar
All right.
or the computer.
Yeah. I have also played in something I guess could be called a band, but like I would more call it an orchestra. I've actually played in two different ones. I guess kind of three, but like the first one I wasn't like really a part of, but like I came a few times and like joined them. But like yeah, I have played classical guitar for most of my life actually. I started when I was 9, I think. Yeah, 9.5. And yeah, I've played, as I said, in a few orchestras. So I guess guitar, but like, when I think band, I think more like what you were saying of like electronic instruments and singing and such. I guess I would play guitar still, but like electric guitar is very different than classical guitar. But I guess that would still be what I would play. Or maybe piano. I've tried to learn piano a little
So
bit, but yeah. I never really got that much into it, but I still want to. I do have like a cheap electric piano.
like a
Yeah,
keyboard or
a keyboard.
like a
Yeah,
oh okay
yeah.
keyboard okay.
But yeah, I never got much into it. It's very different than playing guitar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta use both hands in both instruments, I
Yeah, but
suppose.
you use
That's
them very differently because, like,
yeah,
on
yeah,
guitar
yeah.
you use two hands to play one note, but on piano you use one hand for one note. So, like, that's very different.
Yeah, and 10. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. And like, I guess suppose you're right because you can play multiple notes on a piano
Yeah,
simultaneously, but you can't necessarily do that with a guitar. Like, if you combine two notes on a guitar, you actually just generally kind of make like one. I mean, with tabbing and stuff, like yeah, you can kind of create multiple notes on guitar, I suppose. Maybe if you think about it, but like you only create like one. I don't know where I was going with that. But 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 yeah, you're right. You kind of make like one kind of note, and then when you play guitar,
yeah, but, like, at the same
and
time,
that
like, on guitar you don't need to play as many notes at the same time because of the way they
yes,
combine, like, if you take a song that's written for a guitar and try to play it on piano, it's gonna sound very boring.
yeah.
But
Yeah, you're right. You're
yeah,
right. Yeah, basically, the piano is more complex in terms
Yeah.
of the amount of notes it can play,
Yeah.
whereas guitar can only play like one or two notes at one time,
Yeah, but
really.
it only needs to play one or two because,
And it only needs to
yeah,
and it needs to do that because that's the whole point. The guitar sound comes from that like like um like the way those notes work together,
yeah,
kind of thing.
but
You
that
know,
doesn't happen on piano.
piano. Both pianos and guitars can play
Yeah,
chords, but you are limited by the way you can move your hands
yeah,
on a guitar in terms of playing chords. Whereas with a piano, you can play many chords at once
yeah,
because you have two hands to do so.
yeah.
So the rain is really loud. It is kind of freaking me out,
I
actually.
think it stopped
But it's
raining
good because
here.
I oh, okay. It's been really sunny here for like the entire month. For like, the entire month of May has more sunshine than the entirety of summer 2024.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, like it has been sunny and warm, like for the entire month. So warm, in fact, I retired my Udi, and put it up in the closet, and in the wardrobe, I mean. And then today it's been really cold, so I had to bring it out. So I've been wearing it pretty much all day until halfway through this call, where I've taken it off. Um, so I missed the sunshine.
Yeah.
The next question is from Moof, who is at moof@cupoftea.social.
Oh, I'm not seeing that.
Um,
Uh,
oh,
I'm opening it on the remote.
okay. And maybe Jens doesn't
I found
federate
it.
to you like at all or
Yeah.
something. Okay. Oh, they didn't reply to both of us. They replied to just me. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's, anyway, so the question is, how do you take your tea when being social? I don't actually drink tea,
I
so
have a cup of tea next to me that I have been drinking throughout this. uh, I don't know. Like, I don't know how the being
what tea is
social
it?
part changes this. I just drink my tea.
What tea do you drink?
It was like a cheap one. And
Oh, okay.
it's called English breakfast.
Ah, classic.
Yeah, it's my go-to for those cheap ones. I don't actually think it's like all that good by itself, but then I add some honey and then it becomes really good.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I also have.
By the way, it is raining so badly that my microphone is picking up
Oh, I haven't been
on
able to
the
hear it.
recording. Okay.
But yeah, I do also have another tea in my room that's licorice, lemongrass, and peppermint. Uh, it's one that my mom had that I tried and thought was really good. And then for Christmas, she bought me like these tea bags of it, like where there's already some in the bags. But there's so little in the bags that I can barely taste it.
Oh, so do you like put two bags in the cup then?
I probably should.
Oh, okay. Because you can totally do it. You can put multiple bags in a cup if you
Yeah,
want to.
it just.
You can put all 20.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like a waste. But yeah, I think it would be worth it.
The next question is from your beloved Ellie,
Yay.
who is at ellie at void.lgbt. And the question to us is girls.
I very much agree. I'm a big fan of girls.
I am also a big fan of women.
Yeah, that especially two girls I really like, and one of them asked this question.
That's cute. That's cute. Yeah, I'm fan of many women. There is no particular woman I'm a fan of at this moment, or there could be, and I'm not telling you. But I think if there was, I'd probably tell you. To be honest, like you, the viewer, that is. But yes, I agree. I agree. Girls are very good. I'm big fan of women, and if any women are a big fan of me, I am Reach out. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, ask Liv. Ask Liv. Liv can be my character reference.
Yeah, also like how like a high amount of my video posts have been about love for women. Especially like back on
Yeah,
a
that's
row
true.
where I was posting a lot. Like a lot of that was just posting like girls, women, I'm so gay
Girls.
and things like that. Like I remember
Uh,
one day, like it's about to be 2 years ago, where I posted / replied 500 times within that one day. And like the only way I could do it was just spamming posts, being like, girls, women, I'm so gay.
oh yes, I remember that. just list of girls under your name. That is very
Yeah,
funny.
I also remember like my notifications would refresh in the Akuma web UI, and then I would have like 30 notifications from one person because they had just gone through all of them. Like all of my new
Yeah, I
photos.
wonder who would have done that. I wonder who would have done such a thing. The next question is from Clover, who is at clover@aco.w2f, which, by the way, is unintentionally an instance that is filtered by by the filter that most British ISPs use.
Oh,
So yeah, which by the way is applied by default to most internet connections in this country.
oh, impressive.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically it's called it's affectionately known as the Great Firewall of Cameron after Prime Minister David Cameron, who made it. He didn't make it a law, but he threatened the ISPs that he would make it a law if they didn't do it voluntarily. Hence why it's named after him. So I think it's like the big five ISPs who do it, and all the mobile operators who have this content filter on, and it's on by default. So if your ISP follows this content filtering, which mine doesn't, thankfully, you have to ask your ISP to turn it off, and you have to prove you're an adult to do so. And one time I had to do it for my previous broadband supplier, and the guy and I was on the phone. I was like, "Oh yeah, can you prove it?" I don't yeah. Here's my card details. Blah 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 blah. He's like, "Okay, can you try? All right, I've turned it off on my end. Can you try accessing a restricted website on your end?" And then my mom comes into the room as I'm talking on the phone to this guy, and I'm like, oh, so you want me to like open up like a porn website or something? He's like, yeah, like a porn website. That'll do. Yeah, just open up a porn website, and we'll see if the filter is off. My mum is right there, and I'm so mortified that this guy on the other end is saying, yeah, open a porn website right now. So I'm like, what do I do? So I open nhentai.net and the filter was off. So he was true to his word, and I was like, yeah, it worked. Thanks. Bye. That was very mortifying to have that happen to me. But yeah, so yeah, Akka.wtf is actually filtered by the content filter on most ISPs in this country, which sucks. Probably because of the WTF, maybe, I guess.
I don't know.
It could be many different reasons. Anyway, the question is, hello. I would like to know both your thoughts about the structure. Good, bad, neutral. I'm personally ambivalent to the structure, but I'm a big fan of the contraption. Do you have any thoughts about the structure?
I'm also ambivalent.
Okay. Well, I mean, if the structure is anything like the tunnel, then I'm not a big fan of the tunnel. I think the tunnel was also a topographical anomaly from the Annihilation series. The the next question or statement is from Kuroko at What Joy World, who posted an image of your profile in Mastodon, and it has a big text box that says "followed by Henry Jacobs Foyle,"
Yeah. Henry Jacobs Files
who
just
is my
followed me a few days ago.
oh right, I see. Well, he just wants to broaden his
Yeah,
horizons on the kinds of accounts he wants to follow.
of course, yeah.
The next question is from Gamer, who is at gamer@fedi.bungle.online. And the question is, and also her name is Her Highness of the Republic of Gamers. So we are with a queen in our midst. The question is, or statement is, gaming.
I don't actually play games that much anymore. I'm sorry to disappoint. I used to be a big gamer
The gaming
though.
community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last Saturday I did play Minecraft quite a bit. So, like,
Oh,
at
okay.
least that's that.
That counts. That counts.
Yeah.
Gaming, in terms of gaming, I have been playing City Skylines a lot, like just in general. Like that's like my comfort game. Like I'm at the point where I've built pretty much everything I need to build. So now I'm just like tweaking things like intersections and junctions and like for example, like recently I had an interchange between a like an expressway and a motorway, and I had a turbine interchange beforehand, and I realized it was taking up way too much space. So I simplified it to a roundabout interchange with a stack. So the motorway goes underneath, then there's the roundabout, and then there's the expressway that goes over the top of the roundabout. So it's a 3-level interchange, and one of the poor decisions I made very, very early on when I started this map was that one half of the map has a really slopey terrain. So for this interchange, I had to basically modify each level of roadway so that it kind of so basically like one end is in a tunnel and the other end is on a bridge. That's the kind of level of like slope that the landscape has. And that's what I yes, that's what I did recently. But in terms of other games I played, I have downloaded Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. It was free on Prime Gaming. So I'm gonna play that shortly. I played Wolfenstein 1 and I enjoyed it very much. In fact, my dad watched me play it and he asked what I was doing in this game. Like, why would there so many like Nazi symbols in this game? I was like, oh, so this. He was like, I was like, this game takes place like after World War II. The Nazis have won. They've taken over America, and my job is to kill as many Nazis as possible. And he said, okay, that's good, because the only good Nazi is a dead one.
Nice.
So Wolfenstein is dad approved.
Yeah.
Actually, also Doom, who was made by the same developers, is also dad approved. Because he saw me playing Doom, and he was like, "Oh, what's this game?" I was like, "Oh, so like you play as the Doom guy, and Earth has been taken over by demons, so you gotta like, kill all the demons." He was like, "Oh, so like it's like a jihad, right? Like a holy crusade." Like, yeah, it's a holy crusade. Like, oh, that's very like keeping, that's like very very Islamic of you to do. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess so, right? Like, if there's anything God would want me to do, it'd be to kill demons. So yeah, Doom is also dad approved for religious reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, I just remembered that when we got to the end of 2024 and I wanted to get my Steam replay, I couldn't because I hadn't even launched a game in the entire year at Steam. But actually,
Oh, that's
yeah,
very funny.
actually the year before, I did play Polybridge quite a lot, which I remember also.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's a great game.
that became a big thing that I posted about on Fetty, that people seemingly really liked watching my crazy bridges play out. And also, I remember.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember you also bought one of the games.
Yes, I did. I brought Polybridge
3.
3. Yeah, I bought Polybridge 3 just after watching you play. I was like, oh wow, this game is interesting. I will play this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. But then I got busy with school, and then I never got back into it. Well, also, I had completed the main campaign of Polybridge 2. I was one of the 81st people to do it in the world.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The next question is from tens to 42 at social.treehouse.systems. By the way, is there Insta's logo a bunny? Because I can't actually tell at this size.
I'm looking at my phone, so it's not much easier for me.
Okay.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, I keep thinking it. Okay. So is there Yascast law or can I start listening at this one? Well, if you're listening to this one right now, Tandy, then hello, hi. Yeah, you can start listening from this one. There isn't really Yascast law.
Yeah.
Like each episode is an anthology, if you will. Loosely woven. Like it's like Final Fantasy. It's like Final Fantasy. Each game is its own self-contained like narrative. There's maybe some interlinks between some, but it's like Final Fantasy. Each episode is a bit like Final Fantasy. So yeah, you can listen from whichever one you want. Obviously, you should listen in release order, but you can listen in any order really because they're anthologies.
Yeah. I have listened to them all in release order. And I mean, like, in some way it makes sense because, like, earlier I did reference episode 4 of season 1.
Right, you did reference. Yes, you did. So okay, next question is from Kuriko, who is at wetdry.world. What is on the secret menu if you're allowed to open cafes? Cafe is very loosely defined. Well, you are Kuriko, because you're a snack. Because you're a snack, Kuriko.
I would have dog treats.
Aw, that's cute. Dog treats, yeah.
And
Outside
cat
of Kuriko, I mean, what's on the secret menu? Cat treats. Okay, good. You'll go. You'll go. You're non-denominational. Obviously, plenty of cakes. I think for me, plenty of cakes. I would have lots of
Cheesecake.
cake. There'd be a cake cafe, cheesecake especially for sure. Sort of caramel cheesecake
Yeah.
as
I was
well.
also about to mention salted caramel cake.
Yes, that's true. What else would be on the menu? I don't know. But I think opening a cafe is like really. It's one of those things that seems quite pleasant to think about, but it's probably really horrible to do in reality.
Yeah.
Because it seems pleasant. Oh, look, I'm creating a nice and welcoming space for everyone. But no, it actually probably is like a really horrible like thing to
Yeah.
do in terms of like all the work, the food safety,
Yeah.
the logistics.
I don't think it seems that easy to do.
It's really dreamy. Like people are like, oh, I'll open a bookshop, but it's like, what about inventory? What about managing? What about
Yeah.
supplies? What about this, that, and the other? You know. And next question is from Eris at akama.meows.gay. Ask her what it's like to be a dog. What is it like to be a dog?
How do you explain that? I'm very scared whenever I bark
How long?
I live like very close to other people because, like as I said, I share a kitchen with them, and I'm like worried that I bark loud enough that others can hear it.
So how long have you been a dog? Like what was your like dog identity kind of thing?
It's pretty recent that I started identifying as a Therian. That was Ellie that got me to finally accept that. But like, really, it has been going on for way longer. I do remember when I joined Fetty, it was kind of special that I was a dog girl because everyone else was a cat girl. Like
Right, that's
back then,
true.
there
Yeah,
weren't a lot of
yeah.
dog girls around. But yeah, obviously, then it has been going on before that.
You're right.
I don't really
There wasn't that many dog girls
know when
around
I
at the
can
time.
say that it started. I feel like in some way it has kind of always been there.
And is this like in relation to like being trans and stuff, or was that like a completely separate thing entirely?
Completely separate.
How did you realize you were trans, Dan?
I don't remember.
It's just always been like this.
Well, I was like I mentioned my community on Twitter before, and like a lot of my friends there were trans, and I guess I was kind of like exposed to that through that. So yeah, that's how it came about.
It just happened.
Yeah. Suddenly it made sense.
Oh yeah. So what is the origin actually of Living Cookie?
Oh, that's a long story. Do you have time to tell that? Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why
All
not?
right. So, as summer people know, I also use the username Jacoco. Like my Vivaldi account was at Jacoco at social.vivaldi.net.
That's right. That's right.
And like that was my username initially that I used and still kind of use. But then, well, it started like with one of my friends who was bored one day, and then she posted on Twitter, "Who wants a cookie?" And she spelled it without the E at the end, which is why I also do it. It comes from there. I have no clue why she did it, but like, I just adopted that. But yeah, she posted "Who wants a cookie?" And then I thought it was fun to like respond in a way it's like, "Well, cookie, I really want a cookie." And then that became like a running thing that yeah, when she was bored, she would yeah, ask who wants a cookie, and it became a whole thing there between us and some other people who were part of it. And then the person who started it, she also made a Discord server, which is like the only Discord server I have ever been active in. And then, because of this joke around cookies, I asked if I could get a cookie lover role, and then became like almost the standard role. Like she ran the server in a weird way, and so like it's like it wasn't the default role when you joined, but she gave everyone that role or something like that. And then one day, as a joke, I like changed my nickname on that server only at first to well, I wanted something with cookie and like loving cookies because funny joke. And then I thought, I can make this name sound like a name I made when I was 5 years old. So I decided to just add some numbers at the end. I just came up with random numbers. It became 311. There's no reason behind that. I just picked some numbers. And the nickname there ended up being Cookie Lover 311. Which I think actually when I made that, I didn't even think about how that was almost the same as the name of that role as ever had. I think that was kind of random, but like, yeah. Then that became my name on that server specifically. But then, like, as I just said, it's like the only server I've ever been really active on. Well, I guess not. It's the only public server I've ever really been active on. And so because of that, I just like kept taking the joke further. And so I changed my Discord username like everywhere to Cookie Lover 311. And from then I also like started using it in many places. Like I think I probably use that username more than Jacoco nowadays. And it's actually kind of funny how like because I don't use specifically Cookie Lover 311 on Fetty, it's like most people probably don't know that it's even my username. Normally, that feels kind of weird. Because, yeah, Living Cookie is only really on Twitter and Fetty. And I think I also used it on Retro Spring, but that doesn't even exist anymore. Well, yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But yeah, so it became Cookie Lover 311. And then the way it became Living Cookie in some places was because at some point I got bored. And so on Twitter, unlike Fetty, you can change your unique username like anytime you want, really. And so I took inspiration from those of my friends who would change profile picture like every 20 minutes. But instead of changing profile pictures, I changed my unique username. And like literally, sometimes there could be minutes between. I don't even know how I came up with that many. But yeah, I would just like constantly change username. And one of them was Living Cookie. And so like at the end when I started running out of ideas and just thought maybe I shouldn't change my username all the time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick to one. And so I picked out my two favorites, which was Living Cookie and Jack Cookie. Jack Cookie was actually not me who came up with that. It was one of my friends who thought it was funny because like it was a mix of Jacoco and Cookie. And so I made a poll between those two. And actually Jack Cookie won.
Oh,
Yeah. But then a few weeks later, I started thinking about my name Liv and the relation to those usernames. And I was like, wait, that's perfect. Living Cookie. And so I went against democracy and used Living Cookie. And then, for my first Fetty account, that Miski account, I just used Living Cookie. I don't know why, but I did. I also decided to do that for some reason.
yep.
So it has just like become my Fetty username.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't like that is you. Like in my eyes, like living
Yeah,
cookie is you
but
now. Like even though I know Jacoca, I feel like living cookie is much more
yeah,
appropriate to you. Like I can't imagine you without it.
yeah, but
Also, it's what my autocorrect uses, so don't change it.
yeah, but it does feel kind of weird. Like it's only Twitter and Fetty where I use it. Like everywhere else, Curricula 311. Hey, yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
more
I
me.
changed your nickname on Fetty. I don't what Fetty. I changed your nickname on Discord to
Yeah,
Livy so I could find you easier. Because I would instinctively type live in. I'm like, wait, no, it's not live. It's cookie.
yeah,
So I changed your nickname to Livy, so I know I can search you up. Live, it'll work.
yeah.
There's one more question, which is good. We got through all the questions. Okay, great. The last question is from Callie at chaosfem.tw. Hello, Callie. Callie is waifu material. Would you rather have one head pat with the power of 100 head pats, or 100 head pats with the power of one?
All right, so for this, I'm thinking 100 headpads because, like, sure they aren't as powerful, but like, I imagine that 100 headpads would last for longer than one, and I feel like that is more important than one good one.
Right, true. Honestly, I was thinking a little bit different in that if one head pat with the power of 100 head pats would actually like compress me downwards, Like I would actually turn like 2D if that
You would
happened.
become anime.
So that's what I was thinking. I'd become anime. I'd become anime. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd become anime that way. No, I honestly, I agree with you. I think one head pat, no matter how powerful it is, would not feel as good as 100 head pats
Yeah.
consecutively. I feel like 100 head pats is just it's like a hug, right? Like you want a long hug rather than one short one. So I think of it in the same way as you there, Libby.
Yeah.
And that's all the questions. We made it.
Yay. I feel like it's rare nowadays that you get through all of them. So I feel like that's an achievement.
Thank goodness for that. Hooray. Only by extending the running time I get through them.
Well, I mean, it's been like a little over
2.5
2.5 hours.
hours.
So like
So
it's not even one
minus
of
the
the
interruptions, I think we got a pretty good
yeah.
running time. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
but
this will
like
be. Go ahead.
you said like by extending the runtime, but like it's not one of the longer ones. So
Oh no, that's
really,
true. Yeah, this isn't all that long. Yeah. I mean, if we were in season one, then this would probably
yeah,
be fairly long, I suppose. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the
yeah,
first 3 episodes were like 2 hours long. And I thought that's long enough, but like
yeah.
then we started getting to the 3 hour territory, and then this is very long at nearly 2 hours 40 minutes.
You're frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen. Oh, this is getting pretty long at 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I'm happy to wrap it up here if you're happy to.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, great, cool. We can do the outro, which I always have trouble with. This is the this is so that's wait, fuck, what am I supposed to say? Oh, I was supposed to do the credits. This this has been the Yascast with me, Yaseen, who is at Yaseen_J at labyrinth.zone. My special guest is none other than Liv, who is at livingcookie at void.lgbt. Livy just woofed at the camera. This episode is episode 5 of season 2, which is episode RISC-V. This episode was directed, edited, produced,
Written.
and written. Yeah, of course. I read everything. Yeah, directed, edited, produced, and hosted by me, Yaseen. Guest. Oh fuck yeah! Now no. Wait, hang on. I messed up the outro. I gotta start again. So yep, this is the end of today's episode. Thank you to Liv for coming on. Did you enjoy yourself, Liv?
Yeah, I thought it was nice.
It was a very nice time, and it's been a long time coming as well. So
Yeah.
it's nice to actually finally get it done. So
Yeah.
that's wonderful, wonderful. So that is goodbye from me, and goodbye from Liv.
Bye.
But you wave. Oh yeah, you're waving at me. Liv is waving at the camera. This episode was directed, edited, produced, and
Written.
written, not written, hosted by me, Yaseen, who is at Yaseen_J at labyrinth.zone. Today's special guest was none other than Liv, who is at livingcookie at void.lgbt. Liv just woofed. This episode's opening theme was created by Ellie, who is at Ellie at yearning.gay. This episode was mixed and mastered by Gamer at bungle.online. Cover art is courtesy of Len at nean.network. Oh my god, there are so many people to credit. This has been episode 5, RISC-V of season 2 of the Yascast. RISC-V of the Yascast.
Yeah.
That is all. Good night. And